Hi, this is Mark Olsey with Pledge Talk and another communication tip. So recently I was asked the question, what do you do when you find yourself in a conversation where the person across from you just goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on without hardly taking a breath? We've probably all experienced that. Well, to be honest with you, sometimes I don't do anything but just try to act like I'm listening, and I'm finding myself phasing out because I just don't have the emotional wherewithal or energy to do anything different. Sad to say. But when I do, when I am aware of the mindset that I do care about this person, I want to show that they care, that they matter, and that I want to love well, what else could we do? Well, sometimes we really can just listen because of the idea that perhaps they just need someone to listen. They need an ear. They need someone who cares enough just to be with them. And in that sense, show that they matter. Sometimes with that mindset, I just work to listen well. On another occasion, I might say something like, Sally, if I could interrupt a moment, you're saying a lot, and I'm trying to understand the main point of what you're trying to get across. Can you try to sum it up or maybe clarify the main point, because I don't want to miss it and I don't want to miss you, and I really want to understand you. Something like that could be helpful. It's important to remember also to think in terms of story. What went on early in their life, you suppose? And what is currently going on inside their head right now regarding their own story that might be causing them to talk on and on? Keep in mind that we all have developed self-protective styles of relating that we tend to default to when in conversations with others, especially when we're not aware that we're doing it, or we feel a little bit of anxious, a little bit of anxiety. These self-protective styles of relating in us, just like in the person that I just mentioned in this previous example who keeps on talking and talking, these self-protective styles of relating were developed in childhood and meant to help us feel safe or somehow approach others or affect others in such a way that would help us to feel wanted by them. So with that in mind, what difference might this make in our interaction with them in the future? For example, consider one person who keeps talking because silence in relationships for her or him might be uncomfortable. Maybe growing up when things were quiet, bad things happened in their home. So talking gives them a sense of comfort and maybe even a sense of control. Now, as an example with me, the self-protective style of relating that I default to, if I'm not thinking about it, is really just the opposite. I tend to be quiet more often than not in conversations rather than talking on and on. I'd rather be quiet because saying less is safer for me, because growing up, it was safer. You see, growing up, whenever I talked, someone would interrupt me or talk over me, which was always frustrating and hurtful. So I would just tend to be quiet and not say much. And out of that came my defaulted self-protective style of relating. Well, I give these examples to simply help us remember when we're conversing with others and their style of relating is frustrating, remember there's a story behind how they present themselves. Well, it was interesting that the person who asked me this original question that prompted this little 3-minute video from me said this to me. She noticed by emailing that gal who was frustrating to her that there was a different thing happening inside of that person, which was causing her at the time to keep talking on and on. So the person who asked me the question came away with the takeaway that what is often the problem isn't really the problem. So, okay, with these examples in mind, I want you to think with me. how might it affect the way you relate to that person who goes on the next time you are around them? What might you do or say? Again, the next time. Well, I want to ask you, leave a comment below in response to this, and let's learn together on this. Well, this is Mark Olsey, once again, with Pledge Talk. Bye for now.